YouTube channels are getting hacked every single day all across the globe, and they almost got me. I also personally know YouTubers who have been hacked, and it's just a devastating experience because in addition to just waking up and you just don't have all of your YouTube stuff anymore, these hackers are also scamming people through the channels that they hack, making the problem even worse. And we don't want this to happen to you. So by the time you're finished with this video, you are going to know what to look out for when it comes to people reaching out to you for anything when it comes to YouTube. And you're gonna know about some really sneaky things that hackers do to try to gain access to your YouTube channel. So grab your notepad if you have one, because we're starting right now. Okay, so first we're gonna talk about the person that tried to get me through Twitter or X DMs. Now, the reason that this stood out to me originally is because brands typically don't reach out via DMs unless something else is going on. So for example, if I tweet at somebody, then in that case, they might reach out. Or if I reach out to them first via DM, then in that case, they might reach back out and we might have a conversation in DMs. But 99.99999% of the time, real brands do these things through email, which is why we have those business inquiry email addresses on our YouTube accounts. But when they reached out, they said, "Hey, Nick Nimmin, I'm reaching out on behalf of MSI with an exciting promotional opportunity. Would you be interested in discussing this further?" Right out of the gate, 2 red flags. One is the DM thing that we talked about before. 2 is that they're reaching out from a company that I've already had contact with in the past. And that contact was through a creator friend of mine, so I know that they have my email address and even if they wanted to reach out for something. But just in case, and to entertain this conversation, I said, "Hi, I tried working with MSI many years ago, but since I live in Thailand, it made it challenging. They handed me off to a Thai distributor and a Thai distributor ghosted me, I'm guessing because I'm not Thai." That really happened, by the way, and I am sharing that with them just in case this is legitimate in some way. But then they said, "Nice to meet you. Currently, we do not have any issues with shipping our products to Thailand. Therefore, we will be able to easily deliver the product to you for the promotion. I'd like to introduce you to a collaboration offer with MSI to promote the MSI Titan 18, and then we go through what that is. Through this partnership, you will receive the laptop as well as $7,000 as fixed compensation for your promotional services. We're wanting you to include an advertisement at one of your upcoming YouTube videos." So right there, something to look out for is grammatical errors when you are reading through emails and just having these communications in general. That was another red flag. But they continued to say, "The advertising integration should be 2 minutes in length. Campaign duration, you will have 3 months from the date of receiving the products to complete the promotion." So this is another red flag. So typically when it comes to things like this, even when they send products out, what they'll do is they'll send products and then it'll usually be within a 30-day window or less. And that's because if they are trying to bring attention to something, especially, if they're doing some type of campaign, 3 months is a really long window when it comes to this sort of thing. So that was another red flag. But they gave me a list of the deliverables, which are: the integration must feature a mini review of the laptop, highlighting its key specifications. A detailed list of these specs will be provided to you upon signing the contract. Now, I'm gonna pause right here, and I just wanna put the emphasis on the mention of nothing else is gonna happen until I sign the contract, okay? In terms of they're not letting me know anything else until I sign the contract. Now, if they said, "Hey, we have an NDA," or something like that, then it's like, okay, well maybe, but in this situation, they're creating this scenario to where they're not gonna give me any additional information until I sign a contract. Another red flag. But they continued to say that the laptop must be clearly visible in the frame for at least 30 seconds during the integration to ensure its features and design are adequately showcased. Beyond these core requirements, we encourage creative freedom and would love for you to engage with your audience in a way that feels authentic to your content style. If you have any questions or concerns regarding the compensation, timeline, or requirements, we're open to discussion and we will do our best to accommodate your preferences. Please let me know if you're interested in the offer and we can proceed further. Now that last part was relatively normal in terms of here's what we have going on. If you have any questions, let me know. But they've already told me that they're not gonna let me know anything about the laptop until I sign a contract. But I said, that sounds good. I could make a video about editing and put it to the test for rendering so it features the laptop more. How does that sound? And here's where it starts to get good. They said, "That sounds great. I would like to suggest that you take the time to review the details in terms of the contract. If everything meets your expectations, you can proceed with signing the contract." Again, big emphasis on the contract. "Once the contract is signed, I'll arrange the shipment of the laptop to you and add you to a group chat with other members of our marketing team. In this chat, we will be available to assist you with any questions that you may have. If this is acceptable for you, I will now send a request to our legal department to have them prepare the contract in accordance with your proposal regarding the promotional integration." So if you've been tracking this, I didn't really give a proposal at all. They just said that, "Hey, this is what we're gonna offer." And I said, "Yeah, that's fine. I can do that. And then, I can do it in this way." But there hasn't been any real proposal coming from me in any way, shape, or form. But after that message, I didn't reply. They followed up with, hello, what do you think about this? And then I did reply and I said, that sounds good to me. And here's where it gets really, really good. And the red flags just start falling from the sky. They said, our legal team has prepared the contract in the corporate DocuSign Fast application. You can access it here. And for your sake, I'm actually going to not put that link here because I don't want anybody to just go there out of curiosity. So I'm not gonna say what that link is. I'm gonna blur it out. But they say you will also need a document code to gain access to the contract, which will allow you to use the application freely as a partner of our company. And then they gave me whatever access code to try to make it look legit. Then they say, once on the site, you will be directed to a document preview. After clicking Edit Offline, you will be able to view the full content of the contract in the DocuSign application. Now, to be clear, the URL that I blocked that I didn't want you to see, it's not from DocuSign. It's their version of DocuSign. And I'm gonna tell you how all of that came together here in just a minute. But they say, please review everything carefully and let me know if you are ready to sign the contract. But at this point, I knew what was going on and it was crystal clear to me that something shady was going on. So I decided, for the sake of making this video, that I'm gonna continue to play this game for a little bit and just see how far we can go with this. So I said, you can paste the contents of the link here, please. I don't click on links out of DMs. If we come to an agreement, then I'll need an official DocuSign link. If you don't have a DocuSign account, I can paste the contents into mine and send you a link. Their reply, of course. I understand. In that case, I will request our legal department to prepare the contract for you in a PDF format. As soon as it's ready, I will contact you immediately. So there's two main ways that people are gaining access to YouTube channels. One is getting people to click on links and then they are able to gain access to your YouTube channel that way. Two is by sending you PDFs, and when you open those PDFs, then they also put something in your computer, and then that also allows them to gain access to your YouTube channel. So for fun, I replied with, can you just paste the info here so I can see it? Then we can do a DocuSign. No need for a PDF. I'll copy everything into a DocuSign and send it over once we agree on the terms. I do that all the time. It's not a hassle at all. And from there, I haven't heard back since. I even sent them a question mark to see if they still wanted to play this game, but no reply, of course. Now, another thing that's really interesting about this is, in addition to not replying back to me, I went and I looked at the X account before making this video. And now their posts are protected. Where previously you could see a bunch of posts in there, now the posts are protected to where, for whatever reason, maybe because they're scamming people, you can't see their posts anymore. So now let's talk about how all of this goes together and how easy it can be to fall for this sort of thing. So if you go to that Twitter account, it has a LinkedIn page on it. When you go to that LinkedIn page, it looks like it might be legitimate, like that person might actually work for MSI, which they don't. However, it is pretty convincing. So they bought a bunch of followers for their X account. They have a LinkedIn account that almost makes them look legitimate. But there's one place where this clearly falls apart. And unfortunately, when one of those hackers watches this video, they're gonna see that and then they're gonna start seeding these things. So you're gonna have to be extra vigilant about this. But here's the thing. So if you're on Twitter and you go to their LinkedIn account, so the very first thing that I do here is I'm looking at the hover. So I don't click on it yet. I just hover over with my mouse and I see here that it does say that it is LinkedIn. So you click on that and you come here and it looks like it might be legitimate, because if we go to the account creation, then we see that they haven't updated their contact information in over a year, but they joined back in January of 2020. So because of that, it is an aged account, and I'm not sure if they actually hacked this particular account or if they just seed these things or if they buy them somewhere online, or I'm not sure how that works. But when you looked at it initially, that same picture that was on Twitter was here, and it seemed like it was legitimate, especially when you look at things like this and we see that 8 months ago, there were some posts and, things like that. So this side of it looked legitimate, including these other mentions of these other companies they worked with and that sort of thing. But here's where they blew it. The URL from the supposed DocuSign that they wanted me to sign something through, and then I hit search. But once you put in the domain name, then if you come over to this area, you can see information about the website. You can see here that the creation date for when they got this domain name is March 18th of 2025. Now they reached out to me on March 25th of 2025. So this right here is the biggest red flag out of all of them. Like, there's a bunch of red flags, but this particular one is the I gotcha moment when it comes to being able to identify this particular person as a scammer. Now, another thing that I want to bring to your attention is right here, if you look at the registrar URL, beget.com. So if we go here, then we can see that this is a place where you can get domain names and things like that. However, if we look this up, we can see that there are name servers, that some of them are in Russia. So because of that, that's just another red flag, at least it was for me, because there are a lot of hackers, I'm sure you've seen in the news, things like that, that are operating out of Russia. And then if you go to Scamalytics on this, then we can also see here that they say that this is a potentially low fraud risk ISP, internet service provider. But then if we come down here and they say the percentage of their IP addresses, which point to servers hosting in high risk services, we're all good there. And then percentage of IPs by country, we can see that Russia is dominating, and then Latvia, and then a little bit in Canada, Kazakhstan, and then 1% in the United States. So I'm not saying that this particular, company itself is shady or anything like that, but I'm just saying when you start putting these pieces together, it can really start to paint a nice picture for you that somebody's trying to get into your account. Another thing that I want to bring to your attention as well is when you do get shady things like that and you're really unsure and you're like, hey, I don't really know if this is legit or not. Another thing you can do is just go to google.com and then you can paste the actual link directly into google.com. You don't want to put it up in the address bar because that'll take you to the website. But if you go to google.com and then you put the website name there, then additional information will come up about it. So in this particular case with the one that they reached out to me with, then you can see here that Body Those Fools on X also put out a warning about this particular company. And you have people here replying to it saying, hey, there's like this phishing scam going on here where they're doing a very similar thing as well. And you start to see all of these things and all this additional information about these. Same exact thing here where we have Pirate PR or PR Pirate, same thing here. And they have the same person that reached out to me where they are showing a screenshot as well of the same exact thing and essentially the same information that they were trying to get me on. But when you use Google to look for these types of things as well, it also might show some additional information about those companies to where it might show you a scam that's currently taking place. Now, keep in mind, the scammers are getting smarter and smarter with AI and everything. Like, it's going to start getting out of control even more, but this is just a lead on things that you can do to try to figure out if it's legitimate or not, because they're getting good. Now let's talk about another scam that a lot of content creators are falling for because it's coming directly from YouTube. So it looks legitimate because it's coming from YouTube. However, it's not. So for this particular scam, in your subject line of your email, what you're going to see is that a private video was shared with you. Now, in this particular case, you can see that 13 hours ago, they sent me one of these, and then they sent me another one 2 hours ago as well. For the title of the video, this is going to be different for everyone that they're doing. But basically what happens is this comes from YouTube. So you can see right up here in the top that this is directly from YouTube. So it looks legit. And when you see this, you see the YouTube logos and you're like, oh, private video, like I wonder what's going on there. And it makes it really easy to fall for it because all of those quick checks that you do to see if anything seems shady, it's coming from YouTube. So it seems like it's real. But what happens is when you click on this particular video, it takes you to a video of Neil Mohan, which is YouTube's CEO. And the channel is YouTube Creators, as you can see right here, but it has 3 subscribers on it, so you know it's not legitimate there. But if we look down here into the description, what they're doing is they're trying to get you to come down here and click on this particular link. So here it's saying before proceeding, please go to your YouTube studio and review your notifications. So the reason they want you to do this is because they want to make sure that you are logged into your Creator Studio. Because if you're logged into your Creator Studio and you click this link, they've got you. So because of that, they just want to make sure that you're logged in. And then as they are going through this, if you see a notification regarding the monetization policy, please open the document, so on and so forth. But then they have the document down here and they want you to click on this document. And then once you click on that document, then that gives them everything that they need. They inject whatever it is that they inject into your browser in order to take full control of your YouTube channel. And once this happens, and once you actually click on this, it happens so quickly that by the time you even realize what's going on, they've already changed your password, they're changing your profile picture, and they've already got a live stream that is either running or it's getting ready to start running on your YouTube channel where they are gonna start scamming people. So even though this looks legitimate, and it's the CEO of YouTube here, sitting here having this conversation, this is not legitimate. YouTube does not send these out. And if you get this and you see in the subject line that a private video was shared with you, just don't even reply to this. Unless, let's say that you have somebody that you're working with on YouTube and they send you videos for feedback or something like that. But in that case, you still need to make sure that it's coming from that particular channel, and you can do that by looking in this area right here to make sure that it is a channel that you trust that it's coming from. Now, again, in this particular case, they used YouTube creators because they know that they have that channel and they know that it seems trustworthy for people. But in your case, if you ever get one of these emails, then you just want to make sure that you just, one, don't respond to it unless you're expecting somebody to send you something. And two, if somebody is sending you something, these are still going to be coming your way. So because of that, you just want to make sure that it is from a channel that you already know and that you trust. And even then, when you do go through, you want to make sure in that case that it's also legitimate. Another thing, they're not doing this yet, but another thing that I just want to mention is, you see what this looks like here? How, it's from YouTube and all of that stuff. So as they're sending these out, you look up here and you see, hey, yeah, this came from YouTube, so it must be legit. However, I'm going to guess that they're probably going to attempt to start sending out emails as well to where it looks like this, but it's not from YouTube. Maybe it's a typo of YouTube or something like that, to where they're going to try to trick people that way. So even if you get something that just remotely even looks like this, just don't respond to it. So make sure that you never click on links. Make sure that you go and you check the who is. You can go and look on LinkedIn, but they're getting savvy there and it looks like legitimate accounts over there. So you just gotta be super careful there, but just make sure you don't click on anything. DocuSign is legitimate. If they reach out to you and they try to get you to click on a link of some kind, tell them, hey, just drop the text here and just let me see what it looks like here. Or send me an email and just put all the text in the email. Never accept a PDF unless it is from a person that you've already had contact with or that you've been able to vet in some way as a legitimate person that is reaching out on behalf of a company. And also, even in that case, make sure that you are looking into that person and that you are looking into the website that they're sending from, and that you just try to run everything through either contract-wise, that you try to run it through either DocuSign or Adobe's signing tool that they have, because those are legit. And if the companies that are reaching out don't want to do that, then make an account yourself and tell them to send you the text, put it in the DocuSign, and then send it over to them that way. Then that way you're creating these walls and these barriers that make it just a little bit more difficult for people to get through and get access to your YouTube channel. But they're getting smart, so make sure that you stay vigilant because they are coming for you. Now look, if you're struggling with your YouTube channel in any way and you're trying to take things to the next level, I put out a video that I got a bunch of really great feedback on. I'm gonna put a link to it right here. Go and watch that video. It goes into detail about how you can get more people clicking on your videos, how you can get people watching longer, all the important things when it comes to YouTube. Go ahead and click into that now, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.